Hello, I'm Steven,
And I'm Aaron.
and we've just seen
Hamnet.
new film that's out in theaters right now, starring Jessie Buckley, Paul Mescal, and Emily Watson, and it is directed by Chloe Zhao. So, a witchy woman meets William Shakespeare in the woods. They court, they marry, they have kids, tragedy strikes, and William Shakespeare writes Hamlet. That's the basic story of Hamnet. I get the feeling that you probably liked this a lot. Maybe you even consider it one of the best films of the year. But I had mixed feelings on this, so what did you think?
Yeah, you're pretty much exactly right. I thought this was pretty outstanding. I liked it a lot. It is one of my favorite movies of the year. I had a feeling that you probably would be a little more mixed. I'm curious why, because this does seem to be a movie that catches people very differently.
Well, I think that it's kind of misdirected in many aspects. It stars Jessie Buckley, who I think is the bee's knees, and Paul Mescal, who I think is a great talent, great young new talent. But I think that when it comes to the way they have to portray the more emotionally devastating scenes, they play it too big and too melodramatic. And it feels like there's no subtlety in those scenes, and they just come off as kind of ridiculous. And I know that these actors are capable of more than that, so I blame the director more than anything. I think both these actors are outacted by Emily Watson, who is giving a very understated performance as Shakespeare's mother. And probably the biggest issue I have is I think the chemistry between Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal is kind of lacking. However, I do think that the chemistry that both actors have with their kids, when they eventually have them, is pretty believable.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it's a really probably intentional choice to have it played the way it is, but you're not terribly wrong. I don't think that their chemistry together is as strong as you would think a movie like this would be. But I think the focus is more on their kids. I was reminded a lot of If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. A lot of people came out of that saying, this is the movie about what's so terrible about having children. And then this movie was like, even in the face of tragedy, this is what's so great about having children. Just the way they relate to them throughout the movie was really nice to watch.
Those are the better parts of the movie. My problems with the movie really started at the start. The whole way Shakespeare courts Agnes just seemed weird to me, and then their marriage is very abrupt.
Yeah, I took that just kind of like using the times to get some of this stuff moving a little bit quicker so we can get to the meat of the story, which is really the death of their child and the way that two people, specifically two parents, grieve, like what their processes are like. It should also be said that this is a pretty much entirely fictional story.
Yeah, based on a novel.
Yeah,
Don't know how close it follows the book.
It's yet another interpretation of the Hamlet story, but this one takes the angle of what might have been going through his mind when he wrote it and what he could have been referencing. So that was kind of my biggest way of enjoying this, was seeing the new way they interpreted the material and the way, well, I guess we should kind of start. Well, you kind of mentioned the story. It's, those things that happen, but the whole thing kind of revolves around this conclusion where Hamlet is performed for the first time in a play, and all the forces work to have all the main characters there to experience that at the end. So you've got William, who is never mentioned by name until like near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You've got him performing in it. You've got Agnes, Jessie Buckley's character, there to see it.
In the crowd watching.
In the crowd. So I like the way that all resolved, and I like the way they interpreted the story and the way they tied like the dialogue in. And
The ending is the best part of the movie. Throughout the movie, I was sleepy. And I was wondering, we went and saw this early in the morning, and I was wondering all throughout it, am I just not awake yet, or is this damn thing putting me to sleep? Because I'm so drowsy. I'm having a hard time watching this. And then we get to the ending, and I'm engrossed, and I'm like, this is great. This is a worthwhile conclusion for such a rocky movie.
yeah, I don't know. I was pretty much in like right from the beginning. It's directed by Chloe Zhao,
Yeah.
And I think that I also liked Nomadland a lot more than you did.
I'm pretty sure that's true. I remember liking it, but I did not think it was the masterpiece that many seem to make it out to be. Didn't it win Best Picture?
I think it did.
I'm pretty sure I disagreed with that.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been my pick that year, I don't think, but I was perfectly happy with it. I liked that movie quite a lot. I like the way that she directs humans and the way that she views them. And I like the way that she shoots the environment too. It's like this relationship between man and nature that she seems to really enjoy putting on film. It's particularly with the character Agnes in this. Everybody thinks she's a witch, but she's born of the woods, and her whole thing is her connection to nature.
Those were the other parts I liked when Jessie Buckley is not. I hate to say it. It agonizes me to say this. When Jessie Buckley is not overacting and she's just out in the woods communing with nature, giving a low key performance, those are the better parts.
Yeah, I even the big acting like you're talking about, to me that stuff totally worked because it's just like completely raw human emotion, and they're asking their actors a lot. And Jessie Buckley, I thought she gave one of the best performances of the year. I really think she was phenomenal in this. I think this is probably my favorite thing I've seen her do. Just the way her character changes throughout the movie and the way that kind of emotion escalates and the way it concludes in the ending. I think her acting in the finale especially is really, really exceptional.
Yeah, that's the highlight of her performance. The low key aspects and that ending. The little journey she goes on from confusion to anger to understanding. That's all great. It's
Yeah.
like a phenomenal ending with a very rocky, shaky movie attached to it.
Yeah, and it's also like about not only the artistic process but man's connection to it and the interpretations that they place upon pieces of art. The play of Hamlet could have absolutely nothing to do with the actual story that they're telling, but that's like near the end of the movie what she gets out of seeing that play is kind of like exactly what she needed to kind of help move past this horrible thing that's happened to them. And the way she played that, I thought was really amazing. A lot of subtle facial acting and then gestures and stuff like that. Being an active participant, getting into a piece of art, I thought was really relatable. The ending really got me, but even throughout the movie earlier,
I could sense that it was reaching you, and it looked like you probably had some water in your eyes during that.
oh yeah, there's like a big emotional moment near the end where she's watching things unfold, and then just her hand kind of reaches out,
Yeah.
and it was just like, oh my god, because you know exactly what's going through her head because of the way she's performing this.
Yeah, that was good. We see the origin of To Be or Not to Be. That was preposterous.
That there are like a couple of issues that I do have with the movie. That was one of them. For a movie so like dedicated to trying to tap into like human emotions and telling this story about parents trying to treat them like normal people, that was the one time where it was like, really?
This is biopic shit.
Yeah, he's at the peak of his
Emotional
yeah,
distress.
emotional distress, and then he's looking out into the ocean, and then suddenly the to be or not to be speech comes to him. And it's one of those ways where they try to tie in the words of the play to, you know, a certain point in a character's life to try to say, hey, you know, see, maybe this is where they were inspired to write this. But to me, it was like the moment where they were being a little too clever. It's like, I probably could have done without that. And then just the episodic structure of the story. It's like a lot of little vignettes about their time in their village with their kids. William's problems with drinking and writing and his father. Him going back and forth between London and where they live, having to be away from the family and the kids all the time. But the way it's kind of structured, there will be like a big thing where he has to leave and then the family's upset, especially Jessie Buckley. She's getting tired of him constantly disappearing. But then we'll cut to a little bit later, and then suddenly Paul Mescal's just here again. It doesn't feel like his character ever really leaves the story for us to get into the character's frustrations behind that. But those were mainly my only issues. I pretty much loved everything else, especially like you were saying, their relationship with their kids. That was some of the stuff I really liked a lot, especially because the child actors in this are wonderful.
Yeah, that's the other thing I give high praise for, like outstanding.
Yeah, I think you saw my thumbs go up when
Yes.
casting director Nina Gold came up at the end.
Yes, I did.
Like, Nina Gold is I see that name pop up all the time. Like,
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
what a talent! Because how do you find these people? And there's an interesting thing they do with Noah Jupe plays the actor who's playing
Hamlet on stage.
on the stage in the finale of the movie, but his actual younger brother, I think his name is Jacoby Jupe, is playing the actual Hamnet.
Oh.
Um,
I was wondering if it was a coincidence that they both had the same name during the credits.
I think they're actually brothers, which makes it kind of all the more amazing that they were able to pull that off.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But his acting, especially since he is like the focal point of the movie and kind of what the entire thing's built around, his performance is amazing, I thought.
When the movie was over and I was left with that ending, I was thinking that I really liked it, but then I thought about the movie and reflected on it. I was like, you know what? I'm thinking I'm having the same reaction to this that I did to Amelia Perez, whereas I liked a lot of pieces of it, but the whole of it, I don't think I'm a big fan of. But, well, that ending was good.
Yeah, it reminded me of Drive My Car as well, because it's like this human emotional journey throughout the whole thing that kind of all comes together, and you have this kind of cathartic release centered around a play, which
Yeah.
is, and a strange kind of bit of comparison.
Although that's a much better movie.
Yeah, I would agree. Although I really like this a lot. The kind of, if you want to call it Shakespearean, like the big acting scenes with them pouring everything on into the scene, perhaps even too much. That all worked for me surprisingly.
So what is your final number grade on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like I would give it like the strongest nines. There are some things that hold it back, like sometimes them being a little too cute with exactly how they interpret the life of William Shakespeare and writing the play and how it related to his life and losing his son. But I liked pretty much everything about this. I liked Paul Mescal's performance. I like the way he's kind of like holding everything back and holding everything in his mind because he's an artist and the only way he knows how to communicate his emotions is through his writing. I liked tying that into the artistic process and seeing that all unfold in the finale. I loved Jessie Buckley in this. I hope she gets some recognition. Kid actors are great. Yeah, I love the whole thing. Oh, and the score. Score is really fantastic too.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10. During the quieter moments, Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal really get to shine. During the big dramatic moments, I think they're overdoing it, which I lay at the doorstep of the director more than anything because I know what these actors are capable of. Child actors are wonderful, and it resolves in a very emotionally uplifting finale that is the most memorable thing about it. So, 7 out of 10. So that's Hamnet. Check it out and see whether or not you think it works or not, whether it's an emotional powerhouse or just kind of a dud.